Welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly. Welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly. This is primarily a drone show. We'll be sharing adventures from all over the world. We hope to have interesting guests every week, and we're glad that you tuned in tonight. We'll be flying different drones in different locations. We encourage viewer participation in the chat. If you have a question, don't be afraid to ask. Every week, we'll have another interesting guest. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. We'll be sharing various adventures by our guests as well as myself. And thank you for joining us tonight. Hi, welcome everybody. Welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly Live. It's Thursday night, and I can't believe another week has passed, really. I'm back in New York. I'm settled in, and I've been flying my drone, since I've been back. As some of you know, um, I flew with John Olson yesterday. We finally got together, and him and I ended up flying down at Mount Sinai Harbor, right here on about 20 minutes from my house, and it's 20 minutes from John's house, and it's a great place to fly. There's like two osprey nests down there, and we wanted to check in on the osprey and see if they came back, which one of them did anyway. We found one of them in the nest, and I don't know if it was the female sitting on the eggs or what, but we're going to go back once a week or so, check it, and see what's happening. We thought we saw the male flying around, but it was a fun day, and it was good to catch up with John. Um, and then the other things that I've been doing is I've been volunteering my time to do some searching with my drone in the Long Beach area here on Long Island. There was a missing person. Um, they surmised he went swimming in the ocean and he didn't return. So they've asked for volunteer drone pilots as well as uh, fire department drone pilots. And we've been spending time. I spent 3 days in there looking um, and searching different areas. And they call them zones. You get assigned a zone area, and you try to search that area as best you can. But anyway, I've been in touch with the family, and it's so sad, when I talk to them. But hopefully that'll be resolved one way or the other soon, and the family maybe will get some closure. But anyway, it's good to see everybody in the chat. Really, I always wonder who's going to be watching. And I know John Gregory, Connecticut Pirate, he was the first to come in today. Good to see you, John. And I tell you, John is a big supporter of my channel and the Fly for Fun show. And we truly appreciate John, really. I've had the pleasure of flying with him a number of times now. He comes over on the ferry. We fly in Port Jefferson. I'll go on the ferry and go over to Connecticut and fly over there with him. And hopefully we'll do it again this summer too. But anyway, Steve Janess up in Vermont, he's in the house, and good to see Steve. And just to let you guys know, Steve took the time out to make a drone flying location guide for the 6th annual South Florida Drone Meetup next year, and he's going to be handing out copies as the people sign in. They'll get them because there's so many great places to fly besides the meetup location itself. But anyway, Angel's in the house. Good to see Angel, Drone Guy 42 Adventures, and I enjoy flying with him too. Stevie Bronx is in the house. He made a comment that he was getting on a plane. He was boarding the plane. So I don't know uh, if he answered my question, or maybe they shut the door on him and he couldn't answer the text. But anyway, safe flight, Stevie. Always good to see Stevie. And I might be flying with Stevie. Actually, he's going to try to make a little meetup that Rob Kamada and I have for Saturday. And John Olson might even show up that morning. So in Port Jefferson. But anyway, I tell you, I uh, I enjoy flying with the different drone pilots, as most of you know already. But anyway, we got John Flynn in the house. How you doing, John? Good to see you. And Dusty, East Coast Thrills. Thank you for watching tonight. And Captain Joe's in the house. And Captain Joe, hope your arm is feeling better. I'm sure it'll be healed up before you know it, and you'll get that replacement drone, hopefully. But anyway, I'll keep an eye on the chat. I don't want to leave the guest in the back room too long, because I didn't leave that much shrimp and lobster back there. Yeah. So anyway, hey, Greg Pittman and Brian, Waypoint, Point, New England, and Scotty Jackrabbit's in the house. How you doing? All right. And I still have the cough, so bear with me. I'll try not to cough. But I want you all to give a warm welcome to Stephen Sutton. He's my special guest tonight. He's coming to us all the way from Finland. So, hey, Stephen.
Hi, Ray. How you doing? Good to see you.
Good, good. Welcome. How's everything in Finland?
Busy, flying, usual, same as everyone else. But I'm not really flying for fun. I'm flying for flying for living. So it's a bit crazy at the moment. It's a real busy time. So I'm sorry I couldn't get over to the Florida meetup, because this is our busy period right now. So lots of drone inspections going on, because when the winter ends here and the spring comes, that's the time when all the maintenance has to be done. So it's a very, very busy time right now. All my pilots are flying up in the middle north of Finland, busy doing the wind turbine inspections. I'm down here doing lots of construction inspections and lots of consultation work
You
and
you
stuff.
were you
So
were telling me in the back room that you do a lot of wind turbine inspections, right?
yeah, we're right in, I would say slap back in the middle, but we're about a week into it right now, about just over a week into it. So the guys are up there. I mean, these things are, they're like 250 meters high,
Right.
with a tip. So it's like a Y shaped with the turbine. So it goes up to 250 meters, 280 sometimes, it depends. And they fly. They fly and they take all the pictures there, so they have to be really kind of vigilant, about getting the images absolutely perfect. So yeah, so they're up there. I'm down here doing my thing, but they're up there doing their thing, and we're project managing that. I have another project in Lithuania and Latvia and the Baltic states, managing that project. So lots and lots going on right now. It's really crazy. It's really crazy, but I'm quite happy that it's all drone work.
Busy, busy. I know. It's funny, not funny, but because when I was coming back from the flying this morning, I passed the wind turbine. I actually took a photo of it because I said that would be a good thing to fly for fun. You know what I mean? When I come back,
No, no, no.
but
It's
you
not.
got to stay
No,
away from it, of course. So tell
I
me
say
now. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but
okay,
we won't tell anybody.
okay.
Have any pilots ever crashed into the wing? The thing.
No,
No,
no.
good, good.
Because if you do hit the blade,
Right, the
if you
blade.
hit the blade, that is devastating. I
Yes.
mean, that is devastating, because the blade itself is the most. I mean, of course, the whole thing, the nacelle in the middle and whatnot, but the blades are. I mean, if they get damaged in any way whatsoever, that has a massive effect on the consumption of energy that they're actually bringing in. So I mean that's why we're inspecting them right now, so that they can get them fixed.
Yeah.
Because through the winter time, from the damage of the elements and stuff like that, so we're taking all the images and we have to use we're using an M350 with a P1 payload with the 50 millimeter lens, and that
Really?
gives us so I mean we really have to, because you're looking at hairline cracks, so really small
Okay.
cracks. That's what we'll have to check, so you have to get your exposure and your aperture and everything correct, and the team have to be top photography. It's where your photography skills come in
Oh,
very
really?
handy.
Okay.
You need to be top, and there are guys that are also trained. So they're also trained how to operate the turbine. So they have to stop the turbine, and then they move the turbine to its positions as well. So it's not all about flying drones. It's all about being trained and actually qualified how to operate these things as well, because you have to work autonomously. So you have to work on your own. You can't rely on other people. So you have to do this work on your own. So
Okay. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. It's got to be very interesting to say the least. I guess if you've done hundreds of them, it gets a little boring. But when you first started, it had to be nerve wracking and
yeah, yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, because obviously they're wind turbines, right? So you have to be careful with the wind because it's windy. So and one thing about it is that if the winds are a certain speed, then they don't want them to be stopped, because the amount of time, even if it's 50 minutes, even if it's up to 1 hour, the time it takes for that to go round, for that one
Okay.
hour, you're generating so much energy, so much energy. It's so if you have to stop it, they are losing energy, so they're losing money in a sense. So you
Interesting.
have
Very,
yeah,
very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. If anybody has any questions for Stephen, please put them in the chat. We'll try to keep an eye out. Um, but what other kind of commercial work do you do? Do you do like
Oh,
solar panels there too, or no? You don't do that.
so yeah, we do the solar panels as well. So we're doing that. We're using thermal cameras for that. Using the thermal drones for that. We're doing a lot of construction work right now. There's a lot of construction work. It's
Okay, they're
crazy.
progress type. Yes.
Weekly progress reports. It's absolutely crazy down here. Really, or up here, over here, where we are. So it's it's coming in every day. So it's I mean there. In fact, I will say this because I've got a very interesting video coming out in the next couple of weeks. It's so busy that the construction sites that I'm working on, there is up to about 20 drone flights per day on these sites.
Oh, really?
20 drone flights per day. Now that's actually quite difficult. Now, because if you want to fly your drone, you need to know that it's safe to fly your drone. Because obviously you're thinking about the ground and you're thinking about safety. But up there, we have to be thinking about other drones. So I actually had to contact the one of the site managers and say, look, we have a problem here because there's quite a lot of drones flying. And he said, yeah. He said, but I don't know what to do about that. I says, give me all the phone numbers of
The other
all the drone
pilots.
operators. Yeah. And we made a WhatsApp group. So we have a WhatsApp group for each
Okay.
of the sites, and we actually communicate when we're going to fly, so that
Yep.
because I mean, if I go there and I'm flying, and then someone else goes there, they have to wait. So they have to sit and wait, which is not a good thing to do. So because you want to be efficient with your time. So we have a WhatsApp group where we say, okay, I'm going to be flying at 10 o'clock this morning. Okay, yeah, okay, I'll come at 11 then. Okay, so that's so. I mean, this is where we are now. That it's so busy, So lots of drone
And how
flying.
many pilots fly at the same time, more or less?
No, we try. We try to not have drone pilots flying at the same time, but
One at a time?
if use it one at a time. But if we know that if someone's flying in a certain location on the site and they're not going to move to another location, then we can have two pilots. But it's very risky, because
Yes.
because obviously if you're mapping or you're documenting, then you want to be at I mean, everyone wants to be at the same height because that's the most optimal height to be at. So it's very risky there. So but it just shows you that when you have that, there's lots of drones flying at the moment. Lots of
Yes.
drones.
Yeah, definitely. How about drone shows? Have you been doing any drone shows lately or no?
The last
Light
one I
shows,
done
drone
was
light shows.
about what the last show I done was about 4 months ago, 5 months ago. We flew 1,000 drones for Coca-Cola here in Finland. That was the biggest show in Finland that had been done. I'm supposed to do one in a couple of weeks, but I have to fly to the UK to do another job to fly for.
Okay.
There's a big football team that won, so I'm doing stuff there.
Nice.
So I have to do some crowd management.
Yeah.
So
We got Johnny Drone Flyer in the chat. How you doing,
Johnny,
Johnny? We got Michael Blade. He's in the chat now. And Steve, Primal Drones. How you doing? But anyway, got a great crowd in the house. Thank you, guys. But Steven, we go back a long time now. We've known each other for many years.
Good few years. Good few years.
And it's amazing how us in this drone community, you get to know people all over the world, really.
Yeah. And I get contacted by so many people as well, who just reach out and obviously have questions and whatnot, and just want to know how we do things and stuff, and it's I mean, all we do is fly drones. We don't do anything else. We don't we don't do camera stuff. We do some 360 stuff sometimes if it's asked, but but I would say primarily 99.99% of everything we do is drones and basically project management. So we're really doing a lot of project management. We have a lot of big projects and we have to manage that with lots of pilots. That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, I can imagine. No doubt about it. Philip Koshat's in the house now. How you doing, Philip? Good to see you. Ray of Sunshine, how you doing? And Cool Cat, he's watching. How you doing? But
yeah. He just said he sees me on Drone and Sundry. Yeah, so I'm on, I'm on the other show on Tuesday evenings there as well. So
you're in high demand.
Yeah.
But it's another thing that you do, and I know you do it. You do the Tesla car light shows, right?
Yes, we do that.
How's that going?
It's going well. I was just looking at one of the WhatsApp groups that we have for the Tesla light show team, and there's some talking about a new show this year. So I think something's going to happen. I think there'll be another attempt at it this year. So I'm just seeing some rumblings in some groups, so that we're talking about it. So I don't have time to deal with it just now. I'll maybe get into that maybe around August time or something. But I can't be involved in the planning of it at the moment because I'm just too busy with other things. So.
I'm not sure if I told you, but I attended one of those shows with my son out in California.
Okay.
And we found it very interesting. He entered his car in it, and actually Billy Kyle was filming it, with his
Mm,
drone at the time. And then there was a big Tesla event the next day that we went to. But
okay.
it was a great event, really.
Oh yeah, that was the way. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I remember that event. Yeah, yeah. But we're doing things a little bit different this year in terms of the planning of the show and who's executing the show. Uh, so this show will be different from anything else that has been done and who's been doing it. So a bit
Okay.
of a bit of different things inner politically of what's been happening
It's
for
going to be
actually
in Helsinki or where?
yeah. We have always done them in the same place,
Right.
but it's the show execution and the planning and stuff. This year will be different, and I think it'll be better. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that's a story for another time.
I know. I know. And it's top secret. I know.
Indeed.
But anyway, but you really don't fly too much for fun, though, huh, Stephen? Do you get out there and fly maybe once in a while?
I try to get out and fly once in a while. I've in terms of flying for fun, what I've done, I've charged up my Phantom 4 batteries
Okay.
because I know the DJI have discontinued the
Right.
Phantom 4. So I've charged up my Phantom 4 batteries and I'm thinking about taking it out for a kind of last ever flight.
Yeah,
So
sure.
yeah, to say
I'm so
goodbye.
sorry I sold my Phantom 4. I missed that drone.
I love the Phantom 4. I've got it here and everything's all charged up. I even have my, I don't know if you can see you can probably see the edge of the white controller is about there.
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So I've got the white controller sitting there. It's just been charged up. So I have to probably check if there's updates. I don't know, but I need to
That's
check
the
that. But
drone that
it's
got me
ready.
hooked. The Phantom
Yeah.
4 got me hooked.
It's a classic. It's a classic. I'll never get rid of it. It's one of those classics. It's like an old 747, you know. You know?
Yeah, I tell you. And I know Al Sercione, down in Florida, he had somebody give him one, a couple of
Wow.
years ago, and he
Cool.
flies that sometimes also. And
Well, it's still a good drone. It still has a good camera on it.
yes,
It's a good camera. I think that what you have on there with the 1 inch sensor compared to what you're having now with your minis and stuff like that, it's still a good camera. It's still worth it. It might not be the best, but it's something to play with.
well, I finally broke down. I broke down, and I ended up getting this.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, so everybody has them. There were a lot of them at the South Florida Drone meetup, and it was my turn to go
okay.
and get one. So, and they're
I
hard to
don't have
find.
one yet.
They're very
Yeah,
hard to find here in the
are
U.S.
they?
Yes,
Yeah, I think it's quite difficult at the moment. I've seen that a lot of the drones, especially the enterprise drones, are quite hard to get at the moment, and that's causing some problems for a lot of people. Unfortunately, but yeah, well,
yeah. But anyway, okay. What's Ronnie said something about press the AR3S handled. Yes, yes, Ronnie. Yeah, a lot of AR3Ss were flying around at
mm,
the South Florida drone meetup. It was a very windy day,
mm,
but a lot of guys had the AR3S. A few of us had the Mavic 3 Pros and the Mavic 3s, and you
yeah.
know, even Bill Ronayne. Bill. He flew his Mini 2 that
Oh,
day.
he's a brave man.
Yes, he is. But he did that the first year we had it, and it was very windy that year, and everybody thought he was going to lose it that day, but he
Mm,
he survived that windy day.
yeah, yeah.
But
I seen some videos of it, and I know I was watching the videos and stuff, and it looked like a very windy day that day. I have to say, it looked
yeah,
quite blowy.
you get there at 6 a.m. in the morning to set up, and you almost get blown off the dock. You say, well, it's going to be a talking day. Everybody's going to be talking a lot today.
Yeah,
But no,
which
there
is a
was
good
still a
thing to
lot of
do.
flying.
Actually, it's good to I mean, if I was there, which I hope to be next year, obviously, but I mean, if I was
Okay.
there, I would spend all my time talking. I probably would never be flying because I would have to be talking with everyone. So you
Oh,
know,
no doubt about it. Um, but I tell you, you will love it if and when you do come. Um, there's so many great guys that come to the South Florida Drone Meetup.
mm,
But I have to give Johnny and Rick Williamson a lot of credit because when we got there at 6 a.m., by 6:15, 6:30, when the sun started rising, they sent their drones up. And
mm.
Johnny had the Air 3S, Rick had a Mavic 3, and I said, "Man, if they can do it, I can do it." so I sent my drone up, and,
Yeah, you
and
always set your limitations. It's okay for some people to do it, but if you don't feel comfortable with you doing it, then you shouldn't do it. That's what I always say, because I think some people do feel pressured into flying in a condition that they're not comfortable with, and that isn't good, So you should
right,
always be comfortable with your flying in your own conditions and never be pressured. So
exactly,
that's when
exactly,
accidents can happen, or that's when incidents can happen. Let's say.
yeah. So Steve, fly before and after the main event, spend the main day to visit and swap stories. That's right, Steve. You've been to a few of them now, but listen, Stephen, I have one of your videos queued up, so let me see if I can share it right now. And I guess if you want, you can narrate over it because you had recently put out a video on a drone light show, and I thought it was very interesting. So,
What
Now
I
this is the one in Vietnam.
studied the videos, and having had experience with interference, I have my own opinion on what actually happened. And I think you'll find it quite interesting. So let's have a look at this right now. Hi everyone, Stephen from the Flyby Guys. So we're looking at a drone show that happened in Vietnam and Ho Chi Minh City over the past couple of days. And yeah, this was a 10,000, actually over 10,000. I think it was a world record, 10,500 or something it was. And it was very spectacular. Now, this is from a company called Damoda, who are based in China. I like their system. It's really, really good. They have a very good system. And this is, let's say, the first time that something has went wrong. Now, I've had experience with interference with GNSS and with radio frequency. So I've got some good experience with having had this happen to me and having to deal with the consequences of it. And I hope it never happens to any of you, but if it does happen to you, you will learn a lot. This doesn't happen in the West very much. This happens in the East, as this show is obviously in the East. So this is not really a surprise, but we're going to have a look at some of the footage that has been going around. This is the first video, and we can see here that drones are in the air and they look quite good, but there's other drones returning to their home position.
this is scary.
Now,
It
you
really
can see
is.
these drones coming down. Now, they don't look
Actually,
like
those
they are in
those
trouble.
drones are not really
They are just returning
doing.
home.
They're not so
Now,
violent. They're just
that
coming
tells me
down
that this
gently.
is not a GNSS issue. This is a radio issue. So the drones have not got any response from the radio. So usually what happens from let's say like a heartbeat sense, if you understand, if you're using servers, is that if they don't get the heartbeat, then they'll just return home. And this is what has happened here. Unfortunately, it looks like they have been landing in places that they shouldn't do. This is common as well. It has happened to us, but it has not. But they have not landed where they really shouldn't have landed. They've landed within the zone, but they've landed on like some trees and stuff. And we can see this has been happening here as well. Now, when you're dealing with a large show like this, it's not as simple as one computer one person behind, all the cliches about, it's really easy. This is the most difficult thing that any drone operator will ever do. Trust me, you need a lot of people, a lot of planning. And with a show this size, there will be probably 5 or 6 pilots that will be operating all of these drones, but they'll all be in sync. Now, what I think has happened is that all of the Wi-Fi and the radio, instruments that they have here, something has failed. Something has happened with one of those or even 2 of those, because half of the drones are not operating as they should do, and there are quite a few that are still in the air operating just fine. That tells me that it's a radio issue, and a radio issue for half of the drones. Quite simple, actually. Not a GNSS. I don't see drones flying away. They're not doing erratic. The actual behavior is not bad. If we look at another video here, this video was taken from the side, and it's quite.
Your videos are great, Stephen. By the way, really, I learned so much watching them.
You can see all the drones going up.
I to give my own experience, because
it's hard to tell when something goes wrong here, because there's so many drones in the air, and there's other images happening, so it's quite difficult to sometimes know, because there have been a lot of, let's say, positive news things about here. When you see things,
I'm going to let you talk about it more if you want. Otherwise, the people got to go to your channel, subscribe, and watch the rest of that.
So I mean, if you think of a network, so you have got,
Thank you, Ronnie.
If you have lots and lots of, let's say, computers, and you'll have a split Wi-Fi, so you'll have lots of different kind of Wi-Fi networks. It's the same thing for drone shows of that size. So you'll have split kind of networks, and I think that one of the networks has went down, and that's what it is. And when I talk about this heartbeat, this is, if you think of the radio transmission that you have, so if you lose the radio transmission, and you don't, you cannot give the drone any commands, at some point within that time, the drone's going to come back home. It's going to come home because it doesn't have any radio. But it knows to come home because you cannot give it any commands, and that's exactly what's happened here.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
scary. It's actually very, very scary.
It is scary, but the good thing about this is that when it's a radio and the drones are literally coming back, they are literally just coming back. As you've seen the drones landing there, they were just coming down. They weren't going fast. They weren't, let's say, being violent. They weren't, people were not kind of, ducking and hiding and stuff,
Yeah.
So in that sense, it was okay. And that's, again, why I think it's radio, because if it was GNSS, if it was the GPS that was down, there was no satellites, people would have been running, drones would have been hitting people on the head. So, so this is the difference. So, a lot of people will jump in and say it's interference and it's a GPS. No, I think it was definitely radio for this.
Well, let me ask you this. This is an interesting question, and it's the tip of the week. I have a little tip of the week, and that's always check your propellers before flying. Do you guys do that at the drone light shows?
We always do a pre-flight check. We do what we call a mech check, and I'll show you what a mech check is because I've got a drone here.
Okay, good.
So I have a drone here, a drone light show drone here. So what we'll do is we'll pick up the drone and we'll do a mech check, and it basically means mechanical check. So, but we call it mech check. It's a kind of a shorten. So we check the frame. So we quickly check the frame, and then we spin the props.
Mm-hmm.
And if we hear anything, sometimes you might get a bearing in the props or you might have something which is cut or broken. So we see that. So, and if someone sees it, someone puts their hand up
and someone comes and takes it, checks it, maybe replaces it, and the person will continue doing the mech check, because we have to do everything in a sense,
Right.
a bit like military in a sense. So yeah, so that's how we do it. So we check everything's okay, body's okay, chassis okay, casing's okay, props okay. That's fine. So that's what we do.
Right. Interesting. Very interesting. You know, I know I do it. I still do it. It's faithful. I check the props. I did it this morning. I did it on the second flight later in the morning. And I just think it's a very important thing to do.
There's
Do you have any other tips for the viewers, Steve? One more tip?
I'm just going to say here that the God bless America saying that he had interference for the first time at the South Florida drone meetup. Now, if I can ask him a question there, when he was flying, was there a lot of drones flying at the same time?
Yes, right, Ronnie?
Was there a lot of drones? So, because what happens is if you have lots of people with the controller, you've got radio frequency coming from the controllers, and if everyone's flying, you've got a lot of interference coming from the controllers.
I've noticed it more so since the Air 3S controllers have come out. I've been getting a lot of interference myself, and what I do is I just step away. I move distance between me and the other controllers, and it clears up for the time.
Yeah. It's because it's I I'm not really sure if it's just so he's saying that there was a lot of FPV guys buzzing around, so that makes sense, because they're pushing out a lot of power out of those drones, out of those controllers. So it is a good idea that if you're next to lots of people flying a drone, step away a little bit. Because what we used to have when we were doing the drone light shows is that if there was someone flying a drone like a let's say like a Mavic or something, and they were standing next to us, we could actually see the interference. We could see the radio interference, but when the person stepped away, it got better. So yes, those darn FPV guys, always trouble. Always trouble.
More and more guys are getting into FPV. Actually, Johnny surprised John Flynn at the South Florida drone meetup with, Joe Fortalia was doing a build right in the hotel lobby. This went on for a couple of hours, right in the lobby. And then they all went outside the hotel, and Johnny presented it to John Flynn.
Nice.
He gave it to him.
Nice.
And I thought that was so great of Johnny. And John, you deserve it. You really do. So, but do you fly FPV, Stephen?
No. I'm too old for that.
Too old. Wait, when do you become my age?
I don't have the I work.
You mean you don't have a Neo?
No, I don't. I work almost 18 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
So I don't have the reflexes to fly FPV. I'm just too tired, So.
Well, we had 3 Neos donated last year as we give away prizes.
Cool.
And it made a lot of people happy when they won that.
I'm sure that I'm absolutely sure they did. Yeah, that's great. That's good. Yeah, I need to. I'm waiting for the season to die down a little bit. For me, I think I'm going to be quite busy up until I think the autumn time or something. I don't know. Let's see.
Right.
Yeah, I need to get some free time and go and fly for fun. I need to.
Yeah. Well, John, he still hasn't flown that drone. He's afraid he's going to crash.
Still not. Oh, come on, John. Come on.
Yeah, John, go for it. Yeah. All right, we got a question. Let's see. This question: Has the Department of Defense ever reached out with questions on swarm drones?
Um,
Not that I know of in the states, anyway.
okay. So we don't have Department of Defense here. We have, we have the Finnish military here because I live in Finland. Um, and Finland being next to Russia, it's the military is very, let's say they're very advanced here. They're very advanced. The Finnish military is one of the best in the world here. And we actually have a lot of the American armies coming here. We have a lot of the Marines and the Navy. They all come here to learn how to do it the Finnish way. There was one battalion from the US was here about 3 months ago, and they got put through their paces here, and they spent a lot of time in the ice. it was quite interesting, um, but the Finnish military here, they are using drones. They do contact me every year, and they want to ask me, can I help? But I can't because I'm not a Finnish citizen.
Okay.
So I cannot officially help them actually. But every year they always contact me to say, yes, we need to talk, and I go, yes, we can't because I'm not a Finnish citizen.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of they go, okay, well, we'll see you next year. I go, okay, that's fine. But still the same conversation goes on. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Stevie Bronx must have landed, by the way. He's saying hello to you, Stephen.
I thought he was on flight mode.
I know. He was boarding the plane.
He's back. Yeah, Stevie's back. I thought I thought he was on flight mode there. That's fine. So.
But anyway, listen, I also show a viewer video, and let me do that right now. Take a couple of minutes to do that. And I tell you, there were so many great videos at the South Florida Drone Meetup. Um, but this one by Alex Escardo was one of the best. And his narration in this is amazing. So hopefully we can hear it. Yeah. See if I can make it full screen too. Full screen layout. Make it a little bigger.
Welcome to the House of Refuge at Gilbert's Bar. It's located on Hutchinson Island, near Stuart, Florida, and it's known for being the oldest surviving building in Martin County and the sole remaining House of Refuge along Florida's Atlantic coast. It all began in 1876 when the U.S. Life Saving Service established 10 of these small structures along the Atlantic coastline to aid shipwrecked sailors.
Yep.
These houses of refuge or life-saving stations were not manned with surfmen crews. Instead, they were overseen by a keeper and their families. This agency, U.S. Life Saving Service, after 1915 became what we know today as the Coast Guard.
Barkley's
This
in the
station,
house.
number
They don't bark.
207, evolved to serve as a lookout post for the enemy U-boats during World War II, and thus the wooden tower was built for this purpose. In 1945, the site was decommissioned, and in 1955 became a historical site and converted to a museum.
I thought this video was great. That's such a great place to fly, too, by the way, Stephen.
Nice.
But if you want to watch more Alex's video, you got to go to his channel. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe to Alex Escardo, AME Aerials. So, but anyway, where'd we go, Stephen? I got to bring up.
Someone turned off the lights.
I know what happened. Where'd
I'm
the
here.
big screen go? I don't know. It's supposed to be gone. Oh, I know what happened. I got to exit full screen. Yeah. I don't do full screen very often, so let me see if I can do it without blowing the whole stream. Is that better? No. All right. Exit full screen. There. What's going on here, guys? Just bear with me. I'll figure it out. Let's see. Otherwise, we're going to have to talk from the side. Steven, so what else have you been doing?
Yeah. What have I been doing? Been doing lots of consultation as well for lots of companies. So I've been helping out drone delivery here, and I've been helping out a few new companies who have been starting up to sort of guide them along the way. I have a really interesting project I'm doing next week for I don't know if any of the viewers have heard of a company called U-Blocks. They make GNSS chips. So I may be giving away something here I shouldn't say. I don't know, but I don't care. But
Okay.
there is a new GNSS, there's a new GPS chip coming out
Oh,
at the end
really?
of this month. Yeah, a new one. So this one here is like so we have the F9P here from
There it is.
U-Blocks, but there's a new one coming out, and they've asked us to help them test it. So there's going to be some testing. We're going to be gathering some data about the GNSS and the accuracy of it. So we're doing that next week. So we're going
Interesting.
to go and do that, and we have to use a big drone because they have a 4 kilogram payload with all the devices that can support and get all the data. So we have to have a massive payload on this drone so we can get all the data from it, and we're going to film it as well, and it's going to be used in a webinar that they're going to have at the beginning of June, which is going to be telling the world about this new GNSS chip.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
It's going to be open to everybody?
Open to everyone, yeah.
Oh,
Open to
really?
everyone, yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have to send us the link for that.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. So I'm doing that next week. We just kind of agreed that we're just doing some planning for it today. So it's going to be nice. It's going to be good to do something a little bit different. And this is this consultation side that we do. So we're really helping out, and a lot of companies are coming to us who want to have help. They need to have someone that they can trust. So we do this stuff. It's quite
interesting. Cool. But Stephen, let me ask you this: what's the biggest drone that you fly yourself right now? And what I have no idea.
Oh, but we have two M350s that we fly.
Yep.
But they're up doing the wind turbines at the moment, so they're on the wind turbine.
And they're what, like a 24-inch wingspan or 36-inch wingspan?
I don't know what the M350 has. It's
much bigger than an M30, right?
Oh, it's bigger than the M30. Yeah, bigger than the M30. So, it's a big drone. It's a big one, and and it has a big. Well, we're using the P1 payload on that one. So with the 50 millimeter lens on there. So wow. It's good. So the guys are flying that every day. They're going up and down the turbines. They're doing that every day. And they have to have the photography skills for that.
But that's a two-man operation, correct? Or
two-man operation. One person in the wind turbine. So they stop the wind turbine. They put it into position. They bring the blades round to the right position because the blades have to be in the correct position to do the inspection. They take the photos of one blade, then they move the blade to the next position, take the photos, and again move it, and then they start the turbine up again because they have to be really efficient, because we cannot keep the wind turbine off for more than 90 minutes. If the wind turbine is off for 90 minutes or more, then we get fined because you're losing energy. So they have to keep the energy going. So.
We got a question for you, Stephen, from Cool Cat.
Yes.
You speculated a little on Drone and Sundre with Gary and panel on the nature of Sci-Fly rotor setup.
Yes.
Jim, what explains the 180-minute duration auto rotation?
Yeah, so this is a new drone that has just been come out from this Sci-Fly, and the drone itself, it's a very unique design of this drone. It's almost like it's almost like a helicopter, the way that it works, and the props are they are slightly slanted in a certain way to actually produce more energy and
Okay.
to be more efficient. And and this drone can fly for 3 hours.
Oh, really? 3
And
hour flight
and
time.
and it's an American drone.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. So
How much does a drone like that cost?
I really don't know, because we actually had the head of the company. He was there actually, and we were talking with him, and he was just saying, if you just contact me and we'll talk about it and stuff. So, but this was an event. It was in Utah at the time, and we had Josh from the parachute company in Canada. He was there, so he was live with us there at that point, and we were interviewing the guy. So very interesting. Nice to see new tech coming out and stuff, But I think it's mainly going to be used for the emergency services. I think it's got more use. So I don't think it's going to be something that you'll see someone just flying around.
No.
It's it's going to be more,
Yes.
the search and rescue and maybe used for deliveries and stuff like that as well. So, but let's see.
We got Warren in the chat now. How you doing, Warren? Good to see you. Aki Rasho. But anyway, the guys are trying to give me a hint. Don't forget to do the monthly giveaway contest for a $10 Amazon gift card. And Steven, you are eligible too, because you don't know what the secret number is.
I do not. I do
Between
not. Honestly,
1
guys,
to
I don't know
24. So put it in the chat now, guys.
Secret
Barkley,
number.
your number didn't count. And I'll keep an eye out. Man, last week Josh put it in, and he was the first one, and he got it.
Okay.
But anyway, somebody's close. That's all I'll say. 2 people are close. Oh, somebody's very, very close. I would like to see you win it, Steve. So
If I win it, if I win it, I
say
will
it's rigged.
donate it.
Warren will say it's rigged.
If I win it, I'll actually donate it to Stevie Bronx. There you go. So Stevie Bronx.
All right.
Two
Wow.
chances to win. You've got 2 chances, Stevie.
Excuse me. But anyway, I hope I didn't miss it. Everybody will double check me, but I haven't seen it yet. But I'll say it's between. I'm going to give a hint now. Between 20 and 25. So it's not 39, because not 33. 1 to 25, guys. But it's between 20 and 25. Captain Joe's real close. Ronnie's real close. Come on, Stevie, get it. Oh, John, Connecticut Pirate just got it. All right, number 24.
There you go.
I think he's the first one. I'll double check it. But John, your name's going in. But anyway, it's all about having fun, Stephen. That's what it's really all about.
Absolutely.
So, but listen, really, you are such an interesting guest, to say the least. Really.
Thank you. It's always good to come on and say hi to you and see you, and obviously. And obviously the audience, everyone there, I know, and lots of good questions, and much appreciate it. And of course, my own experience, I'm really happy to share that. And because this is a community, we all have to learn,
Yes.
and because if we don't learn, then that's when incidents happen. And if we share the knowledge, then we're all good to go.
Yeah. And even John is saying it's rigged. He wins it and he says it's rigged. But anyway,
he's on the inside.
I'm telling you, I have so much fun. doing that contest. I really do. And it's only for a $10 Amazon gift card, you know. But I hope to fly you with you one day, Stephen. I really do.
Yeah, I'm hoping one day. Look,
Oh, they're saying I got it
when
wrong. I called it wrong. Jody supposedly got it first. Oh, I'm sorry, John. I'll double check it tomorrow.
when I when I eventually come over there, it's just yes, we can fly, but it's going to be 99% talking. It's going to be it's going to be chatting with everyone. So
Well, you got the dates marked out, right, for next year, April 10th to the
April
13th.
10th, April 10th.
But the main day is the 11th,
Yeah.
you know. But I tell you, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you
And
very
I
much.
mean that. I do. I don't just say it. Um, and Johnny and I were just talking about it on the Fly for Fun show, really. And we talk a lot. Him and I talk just about every day, every other day. And we talk about the different guys. No, but no, your name comes up, and it's all good things, really. So, yeah. See, now John's complaining it was rigged. So, but anyway, um, like I say, I just want to put it out there for anybody in the Long Island, New Jersey area, even Connecticut, John. A thermal drone would really be an asset in this search for the missing person. Um, um, and they're still looking for volunteers. Uh, the family put out a desperate plea um, on Tuesday. Please, guys, don't give up. And we coordinate the best we can. We do the best we can to fly safely, of course. And it's in an area where some of the areas in a Lance approved area because it's by John F. Kennedy Airport, JFK Airport. And there's still low flying aircraft searching also periodically. But anyway, guys, if you're available, reach out to me. I'll give you the number for the family, and they would truly appreciate it. But Stephen, I want to say thank you again for being on. And now's the time for you to say your goodbyes and anything you'd like to promote.
Thank you. No, I'm not going to promote anything. I'm just going to say thank you to you for inviting me on here, Ray. Thank you very much. It's good to see you again, and I hope you're feeling better. I know you still got your cough there from a few weeks ago. Thanks to the audience. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Good to see all the familiar faces again. I will see you again next time, whether it's on Captain Ray's show or whether it's on another show. I will see you then. So thanks, and remember, and fly safe.
Yep, that's it. Fly safe. Get out there, fly for fun, but most importantly, fly safely. We'll see you again next week, same time, same channel, and